the brightest heaven of invention, a kingdom for a stage, princes to act, and monarchs to behold the swelling scene.
Then should a warlike Harry like himself assume the port of Mars, and at his heels leashed in like hounds should Famine, sword and fire, crouch for employment.
But pardon and gentles all, the flat unraised spirits that have dared on this unworthy scaffold to bring forth so great an object. Can this cockpit hold the vasty fields of France?
Or may we cram within this wooden ode the very casks that did affright the air at Agincourt? And let us ciphers to this great account are your imaginary forces work.
Suppose within the girdle of these walls were now confined two mighty monarchies, whose high upreared and abutting fronts the perilous narrow ocean parts asunder.
Piece out our imperfections with your thoughts, and to 1,000 pieces divide one man into imaginary porcents.
Think when we talk of horses, that you hear them printing their proud hooves in the receiving earth. For 'tis your thoughts that now must deck our kings.
Carry them here and there, jumping over times, turning the accomplishment of many years into an hourglass for the which supply.
Admit me, chorus, to this history, who prologue like
Your humble patience pray,
Gently to hear,
Kindly to judge.
our play.
The young King Henry V spent his youth hanging out in taverns with thieves and drunkards, and the irresponsible Sir John Falstaff, a fat old knight who loved only to eat and drink. And now that he has become King of England, his adversaries in France have little respect for him. A messenger has come from the Dauphin, the Prince of France.
call in the messenger sent from the Dauphin.
May it please your majesty to give us leave, freely to render what we have in charge. Or shall we sparingly show you far off the Dauphin's meaning in our embassy?
With frank and uncurved plainness, tell us the Dauphin's mind.
Thus then, in few, your highness lately sending into France did make some certain claims of dukedoms in the right of your great predecessor, King Edward III. In answer of which claims, the prince, our master, says that you savor too much of your youth, and bids you be advised there's naught in France that can be with a nimble galliard one. You cannot revel into dukedoms there. He therefore sends you, meter for your spirit, this ton of treasure. This the Dauphin speaks.
What treasure, uncle?
Tennis balls, my liege.
We thank the Dauphin for being so kind for us. His present in your pains we thank you for. When we have marched our rackets to these balls, we will, in France, by God's grace, play a set shall strike his father's crown into the hazard. And we understand him well, how he comes o'er us with our wilder days, not measuring what use we made of them. But tell the Dauphin I will keep my state, be like a king and show my sail of greatness, and I will rise there with so full of glory that I will dazzle all the eyes of France. Ye strike the Dauphin blind to look on us. For many 1,000 widows shall this mock out their husbands, mock mothers from sons, mock castles down, and some are yet ungotten and unborn. This cause to curse to the Dauphin's scorn. I am coming on, fare you well.
This was a merry message.
Before King Henry leaves to try to conquer France, he has some business at home to attend to, for there are traitors among the lords who appear loyal to the new king.
now sits the wind fair, and we will aboard. My Lord Scroop, and my kind Lord Cambridge, and you, my gentle Grey, give me your thoughts.
Think you not that the powers we bear with us will cut their passage through the forces of France, doing the execution and the act for which we have and had assembled them?
No doubt, my liege, if each man do his best.
There was never a monarch better feared and loved than your majesty, and there is not, I think, a subject that sits heart-grieved and uneasiness under the sweet shade of your government.
True, those that were your father's enemies have steeped their gals in honey and do serve you with hearts great of duty and zeal.
We judge no less.
I shall enlarge the man committed yesterday that railed against our person. We consider his excess of wine that set him on, and on his more advice, we pardon him.
That's mercy, but too much security. Let him be punished, sovereign. Lest example, breed by his sufferance, more of such a kind.
Oh, let us yet be merciful.
Then your majesty, and yet punish him too.
Sir, you show great mercy if you give him life after the taste of much correction.
Alas, you're too much love and care of me. Our heavy oars against this poor wretch. If little faults proceeding on distemper shall not be winked at, how shall we stretch our eye when capital crimes, chewed, swallowed, and digested, appear before us? I'll yet enlarge that man. Now hear your commissions. Read them.
Why, how now, gentlemen? What's in those papers that you lose so much complexion?
I do confess my fault, and please hide me into your highness's mercy.
To which we all appeal.
The mercy that was quick in us but late, by your own counsel suppressed and killed. You must not dare, for shame, to talk of mercy. I arrest you to the answer of the law.
Our purposes God hath justly discovered, and I repent my fault more than my death, which I beseech your highness to forgive, although my body pay the price of it.
For me, the gold of France did not seduce, although I do admit it as a motive, the sooner to effect what I intended, but God be thanked for prevention, which I and sufferance heartily will rejoice, beseeching God and you to pardon me.
Never did faithful subject more rejoice at the discovery of most dangerous treason than I do at this hour joy o'er myself, prevented from a damned enterprise. My fault, but not my God. Pardon, sovereign.
God quit you in his mercy!
King Henry's army goes to war with France. They fight hard with little success. They are tired, hungry, and sick when they reach the gates of Harfleur.
Once more into the breach, dear friends, once more, or close up the wall with our English dead. In peace, there is nothing so becomes a man as modest stillness and humility. But when the blast of war blows in our ears, then imitate the action of the tiger. Stiffen the sinews, summon up the blood, disguise fair nature with hard favored rage. Then, lend the eye a terrible aspect. Let pry through the cordage of the head, like the brass cannon, let the brow o'erwhelm it, as fearfully as doth the galled rock, or hang in Juddy's confounded base. Now, set the teeth and stretch the nostril wide, hold hard the breath, and bend up every spirit to its full height. On, noblest English! Dishonor not your mothers. Now attest that whom you called fathers did beget you. Be copy now to men of grosser blood, and teach them how to war. I see you stand like greyhounds in the slips, straining upon the start. The game's afoot. Follow your spirits, and upon this charge cry, God for Harry, England, and St. George!
The English army is victorious. King Henry approaches the French court to negotiate, where Princess Catherine waits with her woman Alice.
madam. Please teach me English. I must learn to speak it. What is the word for l'amour in English?
L'amour. That is the hand.
The hand. And le deux,
The fingers.
l'amour, the hand. Le deux, the fingers. What is the word for les ongles?
Les ongles. That is the nails.
The nails. Listen, tell me if I'm saying it right. The hand, the fingers, and the nails.
Well done, madam.
What is the word for le bras in English?
The arm.
And le coude,
The elbow.
the hand, the fingers, the nails, the arm, the bilbo.
The elbow, madam.
Oh Lord, what is the word for le col?
The neck, madam.
The neck. And le menton,
The chin.
the sin.
Excellent, madam.
That's enough for one lesson. Let's go to lunch.
The English army is advancing and arrives in the town of Agincourt, where the French army outnumbers the scraggly English army.
Now that we had here but 1/10,000 of the men in England that do no work today,
What's that you wish us for? My cousin Westmore? No, my fair cousin. If we're marked to die, we're enough to do our country's loss. And if to live, the fewer men, the greatest share of honor. God's will, I pray thee, wish not one man more. Rather proclaim it, Westmore, he that hath most strength in his fight. Let him depart, his passport shall be made. Crowns for convoy put into his purse. We will not die in that man's company. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He that shall outlive this day and see old age will yearly upon the vigil feast his neighbors and say, tomorrow's St. Crispian. Then he'll strip his sleeves and show his scars and say, these wounds I had on Crispin's day. And Crispian shall never go by. From this day to the ending of the world, but we in it shall be remembered. We few, we happy few, we band of brothers and gentlemen in England now abed, shall think themselves accursed when they're not here, and hold their manhood's cheat while N speaks, that fought with us on St. Crispin's day.
Long live the king!
The English army is victorious. King Henry arrives at the French court to negotiate a peace treaty with the French king, a treaty that includes marrying Princess Catherine. While the treaty is being written up, King Henry visits Catherine with her chaperone Alice.
Fair Catherine, and most fair, will you vouchsafe to teach us soldiers' terms, such as will enter a lady's ear?
Your Majesty shall mock me. I cannot speak your England.
Oh, fair Catherine, if you will love me soundly with your French heart, I will be glad to hear you confess it brokenly with your English tongue. Do you like me, Kate?
Excuse me, I cannot tell what is like me.
An angel is like you, Kate, and you are like an angel.
What did he say? That I am like an angel?
Yes, Your Grace, that is what he says.
I said so, dear Catherine, and I must not blush to affirm it.
Oh, bon Dieu, the tongues of men are full of deceit.
What says she, fair one? That the tongues of men are full of deceits?
That is what she says, that the tongues of men are full of deceit. That is what the princess says.
I am glad thou canst speak no better English. For if thou couldst, thou wouldst find me such a plain king, thou wouldst think I had sold my farm to buy my crown. I know no ways to mince it in love, but directly to say, I love thee.
With all due respect, we understand well.
Mary, if you would put me to verses or to dance for your sake, Kate, why, you undid me. If I could win a lady at leapfrog, or by vaulting into my saddle with my armor on my back, under the correction of bragging, be it spoken, I should leap quickly into a wife. But before God, Kate, I cannot look greenly, nor gasp on my eloquence, nor have I no cunning in protestation. I speak to thee, plain soldier, if thou wouldst love me for this, take me. If thou wouldst have such a one, take me, and take me. Take a soldier, take a king. What sayest thou then to my love? Speak, my fair, and fairly I pray thee.
Is it possible that I should love the enemy of France?
No, it is not possible you should love the enemy of France, Kate. For in loving me, you should love the friend of France. For I love France so well that I will not part with one village of it. I will have it all mine. And Kate, when France is mine and I am yours, then yours is France and you are mine.
I cannot tell what is that.
No, Kate, but Kate, dost thou understand thus much English? Canst thou love me?
I cannot tell.
Can any of your neighbors tell? Come, I know thou lovest me. Wilt thou have me?
That is as it shall please the king, my father.
Nay, it will please him well, Kate. It shall please him, Kate.
Then it shall also please me.
Upon that, I kiss your hand, and I call you my queen.
No, sir. Stop. I can't allow you to lower yourself by kissing the hand of a humble servant. I hope you pardon my king.
Madame, my interpreter, what says she?
That it is not the fashion of the ladies of France to kiss before marriage. I cannot tell what bejade is in English.
To kiss?
Your Majesty understands better than me.
It is not the fashion for the maids of France to kiss before they are married, would you say?
Yes, Your Majesty.
Oh, Kate, nice customs curtsy to great kings. You and I cannot be confined within the weak lists of a country's fashions. We are the makers of manners, Kate.